First lesser mortal apparently caught attempting to plagiarize a Red Smith lead. I had the first Wisconsin interview with Vince Lombardi, whom I smugly asked to confirm that his biggest challenge was developing a viable Packer offense. Staring at me with abject disdain, he snarled, "Defense, Sonny!" I almost wet my pants. But fortune smiled again in 1961 when the renowned and then prosperous Milwaukee Journal hired me. Employee-owned Journal stock helped me buy a home, raise two wonderful daughters, Pam and Polly, who are both here, and to purchase and raise several apparently unsinkable sailboats. Stuart Carlson has done his best to sink them, but so far they're still floating. Well, they're not floating now, they're out of the water, but that's another story. I've also been blessed with, let's see, what have I been blessed with? Lost my blessings here. Yeah, I know about the grandchildren. Oh yes, I've also been blessed with two extraordinary wives, not simultaneously, who have become friends. How did that happen? It seems that misery really does love company. Spending 6 weeks a year as a Journal's man in New York and Los Angeles, I got to review Broadway and London theater and to routinely interview such intriguing figures as Mike Wallace, Bob Hope, Peter Jennings, Johnny Carson, Dan Rather, Duke Ellington, Louis Armstrong, Richard Rogers, Julie Andrews, Alfred Lunt, and Len Fontaine, and yes, even Jim Peck and Gordon Hinckley. Let's see, some of them were in their homes where I also confronted that intellectual giant, Mae West. Sammy Davis Jr. gave me an exclusive interview about leaving the United States. After the wire services ran my story, I learned that he'd given the same scoop to the Miami Herald a week earlier. There are other embarrassments. Walter Cronkite once told me that self-promotional interviews like the one I was conducting were the worst part of his life. And there was the time, riding atop a convertible with a Journal editor in a downtown parade, I heard my name shouted. When I grinned broadly and unleashed my best royal wave, the shouter responded, "Your column sucks." In the next parade, the editor replaced me with the late Dennis Ghetto. He was not the late Ghetto then, he was alive. Perhaps the luckiest aspect of my life was being paid to express my views without interference. It was the best possible gig for a nosy, opinionated liberal who struggles with things mechanical and couldn't sell a popsicle in the desert. Today my opinions are confined to outshouting the unlucky soul seated in the next bar stool or my beleaguered wife. So let me briefly foist on you my continuing concerns about the future of print and what radio's bottom line obsession has done to classical music, jazz, and the great American songbook. And my general contempt for commercial television, which used to provide some uplift. There are individuals I make exceptions for. Which used to provide some lift in national consensus. Now, alas, it corrupts the young while ignoring aesthetics and shortchanging democracy. Finally, let me recall the second major roadblock on my good fortune highway. After 3 days on my first adult job at the Kewanee, Illinois Star Courier, a tipsy editor came to my rooming house and announced that I wasn't going to succeed in Kewanee, or he felt certain on any other newspaper. Stunned, I called my mommy, a gutsy longtime journalist who snapped, "Tell the son of a bitch you want 2 weeks' pay and train fare home." I was shoved out the door with $100. Somehow I've lost track of him and the Star Courier. But bathed in the continuing blessings and warmth of family and friends, I'm happily here, having enjoyed that grand windfall for all junketeering reporters, a free meal. For that and much more, I submit my sincere thanks to the Milwaukee Press Club and to you all. Now, Alice's boss and Don Dooley's niece, Mary Beth Dugan, told me that if I kept my windbagging under 4 minutes, she'd favor me with a whoop. Did I make it?
No.
Okay. Well, oops. 4.5. Better luck next time.
Very good.